you are live.
How you doing?
Earphones on. I'm going this way.
Cutting everybody off.
I got my slides on.
All right.
I got my slides on.
Move the microphone closer.
Too loud.
You are way too loud.
How about now? How we doing?
It's a little better.
How about now?
No, too much.
Too low.
Too low?
A little more up. Good?
Good.
Tell me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm pretty good.
I keep it like that.
All right, so I think we got some levels set here, folks. And I think we're okay. I think we're going to be all right. I think the earthquake has finally settled down over there in the California area. So I
Right,
think
we'd like to
everybody's
hope
okay.
so.
Right? And let's make sure everybody can hear us and we are live. How's everybody doing out there? How is everybody on this wonderful, wonderful Sunday? My son with the teeth thing.
Afternoon.
I can't with the teeth.
I know with the teeth. Never mind. $3,500.
Yeah.
I got two new ones. Cost me $3,500.
Right? And you're like, hey, I should have been a fucking dentist.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead, I'm fucking going to the dentist and spending my money.
Plumbing don't
How much
pay
of
enough.
that money goes to the 7 girls that walk around dentist offices?
Yeah,
There's always like 10 people just walking around dentist office.
Well,
True
I'm
fact.
lucky enough. There's only 2.
true fact.
There's an x-ray girl. A girl walks you into the room, sit down in the chair.
Right.
And
Yeah, the hostess.
The receptionist. Right. Yeah.
The hostess.
So
With the best teeth.
we are live, folks, and this is another Everything and Nothing podcast with your boys. And I say boys this time because I got my brother, Big Rich, and my son, Christopher, and we are all Brooklyn boys, folks. And that's what's happening on this wonderful Sunday afternoon for the Everything and Nothing podcast. It is June the 7th.
It is June? I wish it was June.
Oh,
It's
June.
July.
Holy
July.
shit.
My little brother
You missed a month.
Yeah. And your little brother's birthday. Big
9
shout
years
out
old.
to Mike.
Mikey.
Right? The Mike there.
Happy birthday, little Mike.
And happy birthday, little Dave Cohn.
Word up. And Dave Cohn.
July 7th.
Yeah.
That's it. July 7th. And what's coming up, one of my best friends who passed away, Mr. Hugh Thompson. May you
God
rest in
his
peace.
soul.
God rest your soul. His picture is up there with me up in that corner over there.
Manny.
Yeah, man.
Always.
We called him Manny. His real name is Hugh Thompson.
Hugh.
I love him and miss him very, very much. But it is July
Yes,
7th.
missed.
Thanks,
Very
Big
missed.
Rich, for correcting me because my memory gets a little foggy sometimes.
Yeah, well, that 50 is right around the corner.
Yeah,
there.
yeah. It was around the corner, and then I chased that sumbitch.
Yeah, you chased them all the way to August 19th.
I chased that motherfucking 50 somewhere else. I told him, listen, do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. And before I get angry and have to cut your ass into pieces, take a walk. I don't want 50 yet.
Yeah.
I'm still a little premature right there. But it's all going down today, and it's always a wonderful Sunday, and it's always a great day when I have my brother and my son here and the Ambrosio family
Yes,
doing
family.
podcast. And we had some delicious burgers before. If you were tuning into the live,
Right, if you're just tuning in, yes, the burgers, I can't say enough. The burgers were juicy. They were cheesy.
cheese,
They were meaty. And they had bread.
and they were,
Yeah, some bread.
They were-
Regular Wonder Bread.
they were meaty.
Yes, they
It
were.
stuck to the roof of your mouth.
Yeah.
Wonder Bread.
Yes, it did. But that is the classic, right? What we know as burgers is a basic white bread
A white
bun.
bread bun, right?
Wasn't the greatest, but really what makes the burger stand out when you use the plain white bread is the burger,
As
right?
the burger, right? You're not looking to overpower the burger with the bun.
With the bun, because you can't.
No, can't do it.
No.
That's like trying to put 7 different cheeses on the burger.
Yeah.
What are
Why?
you trying to do?
Right.
Well, you want cheese or you want a burger?
Or you want a burger?
Yeah.
Some people can decide, right?
And also that regular white bun captures the juice on it.
Yes.
So it sucks
It
in the
does.
juice.
It soaks up
It
the
does.
juices.
So you're like eating it.
Yeah.
You're not losing. It's not dripping.
Ooh, we're
No.
talking about eating buns here, folks. Eating buns. If you've eaten buns out there, please chime in at any time and let us know how your buns taste.
The request line is open.
Yes. And we're watching here, so if you're making a comment, one of us will reply to it. right? We'll pass it around. I'll hold on to it for a little bit, and then we'll pass it around.
Okay,
and
pass it around. Pass it around. You know,
just like Jonesy says,
just
right?
Pass it around. Pass it around.
Take a sip, pass it around, pass it around. That's what's
never
up right
forget,
there.
man. 40s. I think. What did he drink? It was 40s. It wasn't OE. It was something else. He had in the DJ booth
Yes.
constantly.
Yes. Well, Jonesy was the big DJ right there in the neighborhood. DJ Jonesy. What up? What up? And that was going down. Oh, and big shout out to the Warriors. My brother got me this shirt right here. And in case you don't know, let me move this out right here.
Oh yeah. Don't forget the baseball Furies.
Am I in the way? Oh, there we go. All right. That's the baseball
The
Furies.
baseball Furies.
Got them up there too.
Right.
Yep, up on the wall, the Warriors have made the Wall of Fame.
The Wall of Fame. Those are the ones we got when we were together, all three of us.
Yeah,
Comic-Con.
Yeah.
We just talked about Comic-Con again before. We're going in October.
Yes,
We're all going, right?
we're going.
Well,
We're
did
going.
you
We got
sign up?
tickets.
Did you sign
Yes,
up?
you
I
did.
signed in.
Yes, I did.
Rich, listen to me.
You got to get the crazy fan verification thing.
Yes.
Please read Pop. If you're listening, please stop with that thing, man. Please, you're killing us all.
With what?
The whole
sign up.
You got to sign up. I got to give you my maiden name and my firstborn
And your true size?
yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
I told you it took me a week to figure
Yeah.
out how to do it. I didn't know it was just right there on the homepage.
On the homepage.
I figured it out though eventually.
It's crazy shit. All right, so we are talking a little bit about brews and burgers, right? So my son is drinking a Corona. I have my preferred beverage here, Guinness.
The Guinness from the motherland.
Yeah, this truly is my favorite beer. And not all stouts, right? So this is a draft stout. Very, very different than your regular stout.
Then your regular stout. It's not draft. It's draught. It's
Right.
a draught.
Right. And it's just delicious. is
I'm not
what
a
it is.
real aficionado of beer. I mean, I know enough about it. I drank enough of it.
Right, and that's why this podcast is about how to drink beer and eat burgers rather than the experts. We are no experts by any means, but do I like a good beer? Yes.
Yes. Did we have to try to figure out what to compliment our burger with?
No. The burger was delicious.
The burger was delicious, and if you want to have a beer with it, whatever your choice is, your choice is.
Word up. How do you think the beer culture is going now? It's a little,
Beer culture is humongous right now, especially around people my age.
yeah.
You get people like, the mid 20s, they got a little bit of money saved up from whatever job or like gifts and whatever, and everybody's opening up microbreweries.
Right.
Maybe they're getting a little backing from somebody else, but the microbrewery thing is like huge right now. Everybody
is,
my
yeah.
age is beer conconnoisseur. This beer goes with that. This beer tastes like that. I like
At least they think
IPAs.
they're connoisseurs because at 22 or
Of course,
25 years
yeah.
old, you haven't been drinking long enough legally.
Exactly.
Even if you've been drinking
To
beer
be a
since you were
connoisseur.
16 illegally,
Right.
But everybody, beer culture is huge.
It is huge.
It's
People are making
huge.
it in their bathtubs. It's crazy.
It's always been big, but right now
Right.
I mean, maybe because I just got in. I'm not into beer culture. I don't even
You
like
see
beer
that?
that much, but it's a pretty big thing right now.
It is, and I would say it's been getting bigger and bigger for the last 10 years.
Yeah, and I'm friends with my boy was supposed to be on the podcast, but he didn't show
He was
up, but-
supposed to be with us. Jonas, you flaky fuck you. That's all I got to say.
But-
Jonas, I love you, but you need to get your head and your ass wired together most of the time. Partner.
But I was in. He works at the brewery behind
Yeah.
the job Starbucks I'm at right now, and one day I went in there and I talked to everybody all the time, especially when you're drinking beer, you're a little loose. So I
Sure,
started
yeah, it's
talking-
definitely easier to talk
so
to
I'm
people
talking
after
to
a
this
couple
guy
of beers.
right next to me.
Yep.
Turns out he's the partial owner of the place.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was bullshitting
Burgers
with
look
him.
tasty. That's what's up right there.
Bullshit with him, and he was telling me that more microbreweries open up every year. I mean, close down every year than open up. Like there's like 5 that close down, 2 open up. It's like,
Right.
because everybody's opening them
Everybody's
up.
trying,
but
right?
there's
Everybody's
so
trying
many
to do it. Yeah.
in an area that's like who you getting your beer from then.
Well, they'll tell you what the business to go into is then. You know what it is, right? Buying old beer brewing equipment.
Right.
Because
Because
if I selling it dirt
they're
cheap,
probably selling it dirt cheap to
On
make some of
eBay.
their money back.
You got to make something back. I just spent 30 grand and now I got nothing.
And
30
now
grand. That's just one partner.
Yep.
These
And-
microbreweries, they're like $250,000 to open.
Oh, yeah.
With all the equipment and the
Just-
brewing
yes.
shit and the place itself. And
Yeah, but if it becomes that expensive, then it's not a microbrewery anymore. The misconception of microbrewery is being able to do it in like your basement,
Yeah.
so to say, in a microbrewery. Now you're becoming a brewery.
Yes.
You're going to make 5, 6, 7 different styles.
Right.
You're not a microbrewery.
Well, let's talk about
That's
it,
what
right?
I think.
Because
I agree. Yeah.
when you think about the brewing and the brewing process and how it's done, and all these microbreweries popping up everywhere, and they have how many different types of beer. Now, I mean, I don't want to say anything, but this right here, this is Mr. Budweiser, and we all know that beer makes you smart because it definitely made Budweiser.
Right.
So the idea is that wouldn't this be considered a microbrewery because it only makes 2-3 different types of beer?
Right. Not anymore. Now
they're on that scale. That's a huge scale.
But what I'm saying is that when we talk about the idea of microbrewery, all these microbreweries are making like 12 different types of beer, 13 different types of beer. And I'm like, hello.
Because they make it in a smaller batch. It's called a
microbrewery.
Yeah,
right? But I'm like,
I guess,
because when I was in Colorado, I seen Coors Light. Dude, it's fucking...
Right, it's the size of a football stadium.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah, they're putting that's not a micro, but they're only how many things does
they make 2 beers.
They make
two types of beer.
Coors Light. I mean, for the most part, they make the 2 beers.
Right.
I'm sure they have
But
like
they make 7-8 different kinds of beers. It's not called Coors or Coors Light.
Right. Well, they're brewing another beer under a different name, but the process is exactly the same. It's just a different name or a different way that brewery.
Probably one kind. They're not making an IPA, a draft, a stout, of like all these different ones. Like these breweries that you go to, like when you're hanging out with your boys and shit, you go to them. They have from this end of the spectrum to this end of the spectrum. Coors Light probably has like something they could just kind of like drift off a little bit, put a different name on it. They're not going all over here.
Right.
These little places there. Maybe that's why they're going out of business. They can't focus on.
They can't focus on one type of beer. That's my opinion.
And you make your Pilsner. I believe Budweiser is a Pilsner, or is it
definitely not a lager, right?
Or a lager? One of the two.
I don't know. Now, see, that's where the beer historian or the beer aficionado would come into play. It's like, all right, so everybody out there watching the podcast, what type of beer is Budweiser?
It should say it on it. It's either a lager or a.
I don't know.
I know German beers are lagers, right? I mean, I don't know.
No, it's the way it's made is what makes it what it is.
Is it? Well, doesn't all beer originate from Germany?
I believe so.
Right. Now that's another question, right? That a good brewmaster or somebody who understands beer would know. Right? Is Budweiser or the typical beers that we always drink when we see a lot of, which is Budweiser, Coors, what else is there? Heineken.
Right. Your Heineken, your Corona, your Miller,
Modelo.
Right. What type of beer is that? What type of beer is the Corona?
It just says Cerveza Modelo.
That's it. It's
right. Is it a Modelo? Because Modelo is a name brand.
Yeah, is Modelo a kind of beer then?
Right. I'm not sure.
I have
but
no
that's
idea.
why we needed the aficionado here.
Oh, well, maybe because it says here brewed by Cerveza Modelo. So
Modelo is the mother company, and they make that.
And they make Corona. Same thing like we were talking about Coors Light, then Coors Banquet, then whatever else, like Keystone Light and shit like that, Right.
And that's what the beer world has branched out. And now other people are brewing beer and calling themselves microbreweries. And like you were saying, the reason why maybe most of them are closing down is because they're just making too many different types of beers at once instead of focusing.
And a lot of these guys, everybody's big on the IPA.
Right.
Let's make an IPA. I mean, IPA. IPA stands for Indian Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Now, the original Indian Pale Ale, which is my favorite beer, is Bass.
I was going to say Fat Tire.
Flat Tire has been around.
Fat Tire,
but Fat Tire, flat.
I've had both. Like Don used to say, I'm like a flat tire, no pressure. No pressure.
But Bass is my favorite beer of all time. I believe, is the original IPA. It is delicious with a burger, your steak, your pork chop.
Yeah.
If you're having the garden salad.
You're watching your figure with the beer and the salad,
Whether you want croutons or not, doesn't matter. It's a great beer. And that's an IPA. That I know for sure.
I noticed about these breweries that are popping up. Not all of them have.
Oh, here we go. Yolanda said Budweiser is a pale lager. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, Budweiser's a lager. We got a couple of people chiming in. Budweiser's a lager.
Right. Like Guinness is a stout.
Right.
We know that.
And the reason why I like this so much, and a lot of people don't drink this because it's a heavy beer. First of all, it is the lightest beer they make. It has the least amount of calories that any beer made ever.
And not one single carb.
And not one single carbohydrate in Guinness. Yeah. And the reason I enjoy it so much is because there's almost no carbonation in here. It's none. It's got the that's the whole idea of it, right? It has
brewed.
Right. It's nitrogenated. That's what it says. Nitrogenated.
Right. And you only get it like this in the can.
Yes.
Has that little
Yeah, but they're
fizz
doing it
thing
in a
in
bottle now.
They're doing it in the bottle now. They're doing the same thing.
Same thing.
Because for years they didn't do it. You were like, oh, get the can. You got to get the can. The bottle docs.
Yeah, because the bottle sucked, right? And that's the difference, right? Because this is the draft, the draught, and the other one is the straight stout. And the stout has a lot of carbonation, and I don't like the carbonation. So I have the two extremes of beers that I like, right? And you know that, right, Chris? We talk about it. I'm like, I like Guinness or I like PBR.
Right, PBR, yes, the American lightest, if you want to call it.
It's water.
Yeah, it's water.
Yeah,
it's like Coors Light.
That's
there's a few of them.
Light.
Yeah,
Drink
there's a
Coors
few
Light,
of
what's
them.
up with that water in you?
Right.
Yeah, because the reason is for me too is the reason I like this, and which most people can't, is that I can drink a lot of these because there's no carbonation. I get no bloating. I don't
You don't feel like you're right.
Yeah. And that's why I enjoy them so much.
Right.
Yeah. and the difference and the PBR, like if I'm outdoors in the hot weather, a cold ass PBR
will do the trick.
Because it's almost like water.
Right. Because you're sweating it out anyway.
Yeah.
Enjoy that alcohol.
Right.
Because you're sweating out the rest of it.
That's what's up right there. And that's what I'm saying. When I'm outdoors and I'm hanging out, you put a cold
12 pack for like $9.
Yes. No, even less than that, I think. Most places you can find for like 8 and change. Not even. Like PBR is like, you could buy like 100 pack for like 16 bucks.
50, right? Plus deposit.
Plus deposit, right? Chris? So when you're out with the boys, what are you drinking? Do you have a preference?
No, I don't really.
Right. Chris is not a beer drinker.
I'm not a drinker in general. But I drink Coors Light. Like if I'm going up to my summer house and we're gonna drink all weekend, I'll get a 36 rack of Coors Light.
Gotcha.
Because I can split that up over 3 days: Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday morning.
Right.
And you're not
you're not
you're
stupid.
all right.
Right.
You drink like 6 of them, 7 of them,
cool.
8 of them.
Especially if it's nice and hot out. Yeah, you sweating them out faster than you're drinking them.
Exactly. So you don't get
so Corona's a pale ale too. It's just from Mexico, and that's what's up. But that's what's going down. I love the idea of summertime beers, right? I'm not a crazy beer drinker, believe it or not, all year round. I won't do a lot of beer all year round, but in the summertime, love beer.
Yes. I've sworn off the beer right before my 50th birthday. I've had one beer in the last almost 2 years.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
But the alternative is I like Jack Daniels.
Well, we know that. And Jack likes you.
And he does. And we call him by his first name. Yeah. John.
So,
but
Daniels.
it's the old saying is, wine is fine, but liquor is quicker.
Word up.
So the liquor, if you want, you get yourself a cup like this of Jack Daniels, and you can put the 12 pack away because it's going to do the same thing.
One cup.
One cup.
Yeah, but too much liquor, you get sicker.
Liquor, you get sicker. Yeah. Well, if you can't handle your liquor.
If you can't handle it, right.
You can't handle
there's never been a story where I started drinking and it ended up good.
Oh.
There's always vomit on my shoes, vomit on somebody else. Yeah. Almost fighting people, and I can't fight.
You're like almost fighting.
Last time I almost got into a fight with my friend who was trying to get my back. I was like, "You're in this too?" And he was like, "Bro," you tried fighting me. I was trying to fight the kid trying to fight you, and you tried to fight me. Yeah. So that's why I don't drink. I give it to my.
I have enough Irish in me. I'm over 30. I don't throw up anymore.
Yeah. This is true. And the other part we got to do is you really got to take some boxing lessons from your father. That'll help. 100%.
I just don't fight. That's why I don't drink. You drink, you get a little.
Well, yeah. It's what do we call it?
Beer balls.
Beer balls.
Yeah,
beer
exactly.
Balls. You get beer balls.
But this was JMO balls. I was doing JMO ginger. I was doing JMO ginger all night at the bar.
Yeah, that'll do it. No, why is that?
The Irish out
because it's Irish whiskey, and you are Irish. Sorry to tell you, son.
Right.
But you are Irish. And that's what happens when Irishmen drink whiskey. You will be brawling.
Yeah.
Brawling. No doubt about
that
it.
Wreck, you could take a couple hits too.
Yes.
Get hit over the head with the bottle of JMO. And you're still like, what?
Dudes, that makes him even more angry.
Yeah.
You can't hit a drunk Irishman with a bottle of Jameson because he'll kill you.
Right. Because then he'll take his own bottle, hit himself again, and go, so what do you want to do now?
Yeah. That's what's up right there. And that's the truth. I love the idea of it. And of course, always, for me, everything goes everything I drink goes with food. So of course the burgers made a lot of sense. It's summertime.
Yeah, outdoor grilling and beers. I mean, what's better? What else is summertime? I mean, if you want to throw a little apple pie and baseball in there, then you're just talking about an American summer.
Right. Well, that was the idea. Is what happened yesterday.
Top to bottom.
Yesterday, that's exactly went down. We had the barbecue, we had the apple pie, and I had the Alamo, the ice cream on that sumbitch right there.
Nice. All the way from Maine, all the way down to the tip of Florida.
That's what's up.
That's American.
That's all American. And that's what was going down this weekend, right? And this week, too, for everybody. You know, we were celebrating Independence Day. And to me, nothing means celebrating Independence Day better than like backyard barbecue.
Yes. Family,
beers.
And you got throwing a little fireworks if you can.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to necessarily blow anything up, but
or yourself.
Right.
That's the good part. Do not blow yourself up. That's a difficult one to come back from. We don't call you 9. Right. When after the 4th of July, right? And here's a fun fact, right? And some people out there know me and Big Rich for a long time. You'll know that we used to sell a lot of fireworks on the 4th, right? Remember? Me, you, and Birdie, and little Eddie.
Little Eddie,
DJ Pumpkin.
In his house.
Yep. Big shout out to DJ Pumpkin, Eddie Robinson, who I just got a chance to run back into a couple of weeks ago, which I absolutely love.
Our moms used to get mad. What's in the closet?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yo, we used to have stacks and boxes and boxes of fireworks everywhere, Christopher.
In the closets
everywhere.
It was bad.
Yo, and like
it was fun, but it was bad.
Yeah, and we had a lot of dynamite. So in other words, there was M80s,
right, which was the small one,
the smallest one,
and then the Blockbuster,
and then we had the
2x4, the pineapple,
then
the 2x4,
and then the 2x4.
The 2x4 was literally half a stick of dynamite.
Yes, half a stick of dynamite.
It was just not stuff you want to play with.
And we had cases of them.
You used to launch those off in the middle of the street?
Yo, it was crazy. We used to take the garbage. It would blow the garbage pail apart.
Yes. Nice. Metal garbage pails.
Apart.
Yeah, it was bad.
And we did that. And that was crazy. And we did it with Birdie every year.
Well, shout out to Butchie.
Yep. And Butchie.
Butchie used to have the parties in Garrison Beach.
Yep. But we used to do one with Birdie every freaking year.
Before that.
Before Butchie.
Yeah.
Yo, we used to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. As a kid, we used to do fireworks in front of my grandparents' house. But once I got of age myself, then they were like super illegal. You couldn't buy them anywhere.
Yep.
Yes.
So I haven't seen fireworks. And
that was our boy Rudy.
Yeah.
Giuliani.
Yeah, he fucked that shit up.
No more fireworks.
But it was was illegal when we did it too. Right. We were younger, but
it wasn't crazy. It wasn't like they were stopping you for a firecracker.
They're searching you. Like couple of years ago, 5-6 years ago, me and Frankie were coming out of my house with like 2 bottle rockets. Dude, the fucking cops across the street busted a Yui into my driveway. What the fuck do you got? And we're like, I was like, yo, I'm in front of my house. And then I had like $10 cash in my waistband. Yeah. We were going to get a slice of pizza and we are going to launch 2 bottle rockets. Right. I took the out of my pants. You're buying firecrackers? You can't do. They tried taking Frankie's bicycle away because it was transporting fireworks. Like, dude, over 2 bottle rockets.
Wow.
And then until I was like, my mom's a cop, bro. This is my house. He was like, all right, I'll do anything stupid. We're taking the bottle rockets with you.
Yeah, you can have them. Do you want to match?
Partner took the black bag out of his pocket, opened it up, and put it in there. I was like, what is it? Your first bust of the day?
Yeah.
Like, dude, what the hell?
Don't you got some shit else to do, you fucking
over 2 bottle
Momo?
Rockets. You almost took my $10 bill.
I would have. Yo, listen. Back in the day, we would have been shooting the bottle rockets at him.
Oh, man.
No joke. Cops didn't come down by Bedford Park and
you light them off until you see them, and then when you see them, you stop lighting it.
And then when they leave,
you light them again.
And
then we used to shoot the bottle rockets at them.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yo, we used to have bottle rocket fights. Remember?
Oh, and Roman candles.
And Roman candles. Yeah, we were a little out of hand.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little out of hand, but that's okay. That's what you got to do.
We're all here, and just about everybody's got all their fingers and toes.
I don't like beer. I promise you, Rena, we won't make you drink any. You do not have to drink any beer.
You could buy as much as you want.
You could buy it.
You don't have to drink it.
You don't have to drink it. You could send it to 1313
Mockingbird Lane. You send it there, I'm sure we'll find somebody to drink it.
Somebody drink it. Don't you worry. That's all good. So that's what's going on. James Russell should have a Roman candle fight with the Roman candles from last year. James, why ain't you here on the podcast? This is another one, right? Everybody wants to be down until it's time to be podcast. And then they don't want to come down.
Get in touch with Shannon or myself.
Yeah.
Sundays.
Yeah.
And we'll make it happen.
Yeah. I tell everybody the same thing, and that's, I'm going to bring
Come
this
down, doors open.
I'm going to bring this message up real quick too, because for the last time too, I was supposed to have somebody here to come be on the podcast too when I did the rap thing.
Okay.
And they flaked out. No call, no show. You know how I feel about that. And everybody knows in the business. No call, no show when you're in construction and in the food business, in the restaurant business. No call, no show means you fucked up.
Yeah. Don't come back.
Yeah. Don't come back. Like, don't call me to say hello. Don't call me to shoot the shit and chat and breeze and like, oh, how's everything going now? Screw you.
Not cool anymore.
Word up. Screw you.
You got to say something. You know?
Yeah, you do.
It's like if you see something, you say something.
Word. And if you commit to something, you should commit. And if you don't, you should just not say it and not come on or not get involved. And that's the end of that. You know what I mean? Don't be one of those people. Don't be a flaky flake. It's unnecessary. You heard? If you can do it, do it. If you can't, just say you can't. And that's the end of it. But don't reach out to me. You want to, I want to be on your podcast.
I want to do this. I want to do that.
And then I'm like, okay, cool. Next week. Yeah. And they're like, okay. And then no call, no shows. And that's how it goes. That shit ain't cool with me. I don't care who you are. I don't give a shit.
Right. He don't even let me get away with it.
Word up. Take your Budweiser and get to stepping.
You get a Budweiser.
You can have a Budweiser.
Yeah.
You could definitely could use.
Sitting over there getting warm.
Word up. We know nobody likes warm beer. Well, I can't say that in Ireland they serve Guinness warm.
Guinness
serve
warm.
Room temperature.
Yep. Not
which
warm,
is
right.
Yeah, which is okay. Like I drink my Guinness if it's not ice cold, I'll still drink.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I keep doing this trying to make like we're doing product placement.
Yeah.
I'm like this.
Yeah, it's not like Corona and Budweiser doesn't make, and Guinness doesn't make enough money on their own.
Word up. Gisela says, no flakes. No flakes, no flakes.
We need to promote them.
And you ain't lying.
You see that in movies? Like,
word up. And that's like people too, right? So I blow up the spot on everybody, right? James too. James, I text James 3 weeks ago about something. And he never got back to me. And then the other day I sent him, yo, you don't answer your texts or phone calls or whatever. And he's like, I'm bad with that stuff. I'm like, so take your phone and throw that shit in the garbage.
Right. Or just get a phone that just does phone calls.
Yeah. Word up.
That's it. Just phone calls.
Yeah. Because you don't have to be
get the one with the big numbers so you can see them. Your old crotchety crotch.
It's the truth right there. You know what I mean?
That's it. I'm switching back. Getting rid of this. Getting rid of everything. Just getting the big one with the big numbers on it.
I'm telling you got to get like the old flip phone and shit. And that's it. That's it. If you want to get
a phone call just in case it's an emergency.
Word up.
Emergency, phone's ringing. If you don't want to be in touch with the rest of the world, get rid of the friggin' smartphone.
Word up.
Or if your smartphone is smarter than you,
Word. Time to re-educate. But that's what's up right there. I really love the idea of the whole get together thing. You know what the holidays mean, right? A lot of people get invested in the idea of the holiday. And for me, it's the idea of people getting together over food, maybe some beverages and what have you. And I really like that idea. I like the idea of people getting together. So that's why.
Of course. No, it's always nice to have people around, whether we know you forever or we don't.
Yeah.
Because it's...
make new friends all the time.
Make new friends all the time.
That's what's up. And that was good about being out on the road doing the show. We've really met a lot of people.
And I would say 90% of them, at least 90% of them, maybe 95% of them were all nice to us.
And Christopher too. Like Chris has been out on the road and he's been doing his camera assistant, production assistant stuff with all this stuff. And he's been out at a couple of shoots. He was even out on the road with us for season 1 of the show, which was fantastic having you. And everybody out there doesn't know my son is a screenplay writer and just finished shooting his first short film, which he's in post-production now, editing and doing
short film. He did it with everybody under 5 foot.
Well, not everybody, but a lot of people.
You can't say midgets anymore.
You can't say it.
You're not supposed to say that.
You can't say midgets.
You can't say dwarf.
You can't say dwarves.
You haven't seen the short film, right?
No, I just saw pictures.
Yeah, you think it's
just
funny?
Snapshots.
We could show you upstairs when we're done. If you
cool.
Yeah, we'll
go over that.
We'll watch it.
Yeah, you think it's fine.
And I'm hoping that once it's all done, once post is done and not completely finished 110%, but when it's close enough, we will. Are you cleaning your teeth? What the hell are you doing?
Yeah, a little something like food stuck in there. What's up, man?
I love that boy.
A leftover burger.
He's got a little bit of hot meat in there. Bitch.
No, he left it there on purpose because the burger tastes better the second time.
burp it up, you swallow it back down. Man.
So it's good. Take it back to the page at night. Somebody said, take it back to pages 911. That's true right there. Motorola Razors. Motorola Razor. James said Motorola Razor. James, that ain't going to help you, man. You just flaky. You can't help that. You know what I mean? The Motorola Razor ain't going to get you away from that.
Unless you bring one over. You bring one over, we might forgive you.
Yeah, we might. We might forgive you. But that's what's going down. And we'll see, James, because James told me he was going to send the truck out here. I got to have him listen to me. I worked on the bike last year, got it running. I rode the thing once. I left it. The carburetor's all gunked up. I don't have the time to work on it. So I need James to come by and help me out a little bit. So hopefully, maybe James will forget. Maybe he'll remember this week. We'll see. We'll see, James. If not, that's it. We ain't friends no more. I'm done. But that right there, getting the pager back in the day was the shit.
Oh, yeah, you get a pager and a pocket full of quarters.
Word up. There was pay phones on every corner.
Yeah.
I almost didn't get that, but then I got it. Pay phones.
Pay phones. Cool.
Do you know anything about those?
Pay phones?
Yeah.
Very little.
I probably used one once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's as far as I go, but I'm not big into the phone thing either. I'm not. I go a long time enough. I have an iPhone 5 right now.
Yeah. This thing's 3 years old. It's,
but I know you say that, but
V20.
You one eye is always on it.
Not really. If I'm like doing nothing, I'd rather play these cards. Caught my attention the past week more than the phone ever has.
Yeah. You've been flipping the cards around a lot lately.
Yeah. The phone is just all right. It's because then once it is going off all the time, it annoys the shit out of me. But then when it's not, I'm like, why is nobody hitting me up?
Right, because you took half the apps off the thing.
Exactly. But
the same thing here.
Now I just if it's
same
over there.
Same thing. Yeah, I had 17,000 apps on it, and the thing's beeping every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So when I got tired of beeps and I'm tired of boops and whatever else it was doing, I go, all right, I'm not using that. Yeah. I'm not.
Same thing I was telling Dad the other day. All this social media stuff, it gives people access to you that normally wouldn't have access. When I have Instagram, I have like 20, 30 people in my DMs commenting on my shit, liking my stuff. A couple hundred people liking my pictures.
That you don't know.
I know them. We're friends. But when I don't have the app, I don't get a text, a call, nothing from them. So it's like we really ain't boys. We're only boys because you see me on Instagram.
Right. But that's your generation.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's your generation. You're anybody from between 20 and 30.
Yeah.
Well,
actually 18 and 30 now.
Okay. 18, even 16.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyone between that age.
My little sister's 10 has an iPhone and Instagram.
Yeah. Constantly on the phone. And if you're not on the phone doing the same thing they're doing, you ain't boys with them.
You're
not with them.
You're not with them. Exactly how it is. People all like, yo, you made a movie, yada, yada, yada. Because I was posting about it every day. Because I thought that's what I had to do to keep my momentum going. But my momentum isn't on here.
No, your momentum is created by you.
But then all those people are like, yo, good shit. I can't wait to hear about more. And like, yada, yada.
They're full of shit.
Once I got rid of it, nobody was like, yo, how's it going? Just a few select real people.
Right.
Just a few select people.
That's the way it always
Well, that's the idea.
It's always going to be that way.
That's the idea of content, though, too, right? And that's the reason why I do this, too. You have to stay relevant. So you have to be in the public eye. You have to be constantly showing people something because of the stimulation that it creates. And that's why we need to be doing this more on a regular basis. And whether you want to agree or not, and this is your generation, but everything is going to be generated through our phones eventually. Eventually, everything is going to come through here.
Well, something like a phone. Probably not a phone, probably something even smaller.
It's not even going to be a phone. Within the next 20 years, it's going to be a chip.
It's going to be a chip or something that's in you or on your glasses or something. Because it's like right now, the fastest thing we can connect and shit with people is like how fast our thumbs go. Yeah. Eventually, it's just going to be like thought process.
Yeah.
And that's like the future of this. This is just like the first part of it. Like, when we had computers, now this is like the next up from a computer.
Correct.
The next up from a phone's on its way. It's the Apple Watch right now. Because now you can just look at it and you can text back on it, talk to it, do a call through it. And it's getting closer and closer to us being connected with us.
To our bodies.
So eventually it's going to be something.
You don't even have to carry anything
anymore. You swallow a fucking capsule and the next day it's in your head and you Google right in your fucking eyeballs.
You think so? In 100%. The eyeballs?
There's already Google glasses.
Well, the glasses, but
the next step is something that goes right inside of your, and you could just kind of see it.
Right. Yeah, it's a chip thing. It's definitely a chip
not
thing.
Even seeing it, just kind of like sending a text, just kind of like thinking like, text Danny right now.
Yeah,
what's going on, brother?
See,
and then he can just text you back.
That I have a super duper big problem with.
Because then there's no privacy at all.
There's none.
But
there's no privacy now.
Is you guys have a problem with it. I might have a problem with it, but the next kids up, they're not going to know the difference.
They're not.
Yes.
The difference is
they're not going to know they're not going to know what it's like to just sit down and have a conversation like this,
right,
or even just a text message is going to be foreign to them.
Yes.
You know, video games are becoming foreign. You could put a fucking thing on your head now, and you're
That's
in your
virtual reality.
Right.
Can you
but
imagine?
Doesn't that thing also take your phone?
It
still?
also
You click the phone
you could
into
put
it?
your phone into it, and you can.
Right.
So it's
And
kind of the same thing then, because now you can
Right.
just you're talking and your voice is connected, so you could have it here and then, hey
Right.
Siri, text my dad.
Yeah.
Won't be home for dinner.
Right. That's
Right.
another scary thing. That stupid Siri thing.
Yeah.
That thing's listening to you
All the time.
all.
Same thing with
the
Alexa.
time.
Why do you think there's such
Alexa
a
too, all of
movement on smart speakers?
Uh-huh.
Because you think it's a coincidence when you can be like, hey Siri, and then she'll turn on.
Right.
That means that's always listening
It's
for that hey
always
Siri.
on.
So it's always hearing, and then the guy who programs it and the government's like, hey, remember that Patriot Act we came out with? Make sure that's every time when they're not directly talking to the speaker, we're
Yes.
here, we're connecting to it anyway. Just record it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's in the amendments now. They can't tell us no. And plus, there's 100. I think on the market there's 150 million sold, or 150 or 1.5 billion units sold. Whatever the number is, it's a very high number. So it means a lot of the population of at least America
Yep.
owns a smart speaker. So most of the families in America are now just being recorded just because they're like, hey, I want to have the option to say, play Frankie Sinatra for me.
Right. Well, they have that commercial now, right? Which is the
And
commercial.
the portal thing too.
Yes.
That's even more next level. Because now they're just recording the image in your house all the time, not just
Right.
the sounds. They're recording the image of what you're doing. You
Right.
have that shit
That's
in your
why.
bedroom.
That's why on my laptop there's a
There's
Band-Aid
a sweat. Yeah.
over my camera
Yeah.
Ah.
because as soon as you put it on, I have the latest antivirus software and security. The latest. I go to Micro Center. I love these guys.
Yeah, me too. His
Micro
one right here.
Center.
Go to Micro Center a lot.
You pay for it because it's worth it. You pay for the top-notch freaking security stuff, and it works. Every time I go into a website and somebody wants to, every time somebody wants to turn on my camera, they tell me, allow it or don't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what kind of computer do you have?
I have an Acer.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
If you have a Mac, that Mac automatically
Never
comes with that. Like if you go onto like Facebook, it's always like Facebook wants to access your webcam.
Right.
Yeah. So like if you have a Mac, but that's regardless.
And you're like, no.
Regardless,
Right.
it's like that always happens. And if you ever look on the Mac, it's kind of creepy because the green light is faintly always on.
Right.
And that just means that your webcam is being activated.
Yeah.
And it's just because you have your cookies enabled or your cakes enabled.
Right.
And it's like, unless you one, know about it, or two, want to take the time to go into your settings to turn the cookies off and everything like that. But people don't do it. People appreciate it because they put like a little glitch in there. Not a glitch, but a little like piece of candy in there for you. It's like if you keep your cookies enabled, we'll remember all your passwords. You know, you have your passwords in, which people enjoy. You don't have to sit there and type in fucking.
Should have to type it in every time.
Yeah, but so then that also means that they can watch you, listen to you. But like, at the same time, who cares?
Yeah.
Because what are you really talking about in your house?
Right.
The bills are due.
Yes.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, for the most part. But I
hate people. I hate this one.
Right.
I hate that one.
Yeah. So
What
it's like
the
the
hell?
government's like most of the time the
Peace of
government
mind,
really
right?
is listening. They're probably just like the majority of the population. Let's just keep those guys in the background.
No.
Let's listen to like
It's all about keywords.
keyword exactly.
Yeah,
Keywords.
It's all keywords.
Yeah.
You say
Bombs,
bomb,
yeah.
you say explosion,
Taco.
you say you
Taco.
talk about double penetration, you say something out of the
I don't
ordinary.
necessarily talk about double penetration. I mean, I think about it a lot, but I definitely
But
don't
you
talk
say
about it that much.
something, anything that's
Comments.
anything out of whack, that's what they stop. That's what they listen
Can't wait
to.
see
Yeah.
this film. You have to have an opening night party. For
And you know
I
what's-
plan on it?
You know what's funny? I don't pay much attention to stuff like that because I'm like, I figure at this point, if they're collecting this information, I don't know what the hell they'll eventually use it for, but I'm guessing the reason they collect a lot of this information from the computers and what have you is because they're making it all smarter. So eventually, like Christopher was saying, is that when
Right,
you
the whole IA thing, the
Yeah,
artificial
AI.
intelligence,
Yeah.
IA, right?
Yeah, is that eventually something's going to come of it, and I'm okay with that. I don't never want to, discount the idea that technology does help us in a lot of ways. It cripples us, I think, a lot.
Right.
Man was free when the phone was corded.
Well, yeah, but what's funny is that people say that too. But man was free when the phone was corded, but you couldn't get people off the phone then either.
Right.
Get off the phone. I got to use the internet. Plug it in the Ethernet cable and shit.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
But
Stuff like that.
this is just this in this moment in human history. This is the way it has to go.
Yes.
There was technology not like this, but there was still technology that ended the Egyptians, ended the fucking
Correct.
Mesopotamians. This is just the way this humanity cycle of society is
At
going.
this particular time,
We're
right.
going into the cloud. This is the cloud generation of
Yes.
human society. Whoever's running this universe thing was like, let's see how the cloud worked this time. We saw the dinosaurs didn't work.
Yep.
Fucking couple 100 million years later, let's see how the cloud works. Eventually, it all goes into the cloud. It all gets saved into the cloud. The cloud becomes everything, and then that becomes what you want. But what comes of all
And what's the cloud? The universe.
the
No?
cloud, the human-made cloud,
The human-made
is
cloud.
just a bunch of fucking
It's a bunch of ones and zeros.
ones and
yeah,
zeros and invisible
basically.
signals just
Right.
shooting back and forth, and it gives you cancer if you're too close to it, which we're all around it all the time now.
Involved with
It's
it
in our
anyway.
food, it's in our drinks, it's in
Yeah.
the drinking water, it's everywhere. But the thing that comes from all this, you see it already with the cars. Cars are driving themselves. I'm in my
Yes.
2002 GMC, driving on the highway the other day, coming to Jersey from Staten Island, doing like 70, and I was like, there's no one on the road. I don't keep my foot on the thing. Cruise control.
Yeah.
We've had cars drive themselves since fucking the 90s whenever cruise control came out.
No,
in the 80s.
cruise control came out in the 50s.
There
How
you
about
go.
that one?
We even have cars basically driving themselves. You're just in there.
Right.
Now they're getting to the point where it's so good that there just has to be a guy within
That you can
someone
actually
in
have
the
sex
truck.
in the car while it drives itself.
While it's driving
Did
itself.
anybody check that video?
No, I haven't seen that, but there's like Amazon and like Walmart and big distributors.
Oh yeah, point that at me. I can't see
And
anything.
Well, that's what you
realtors
got
are
the
just are
spectacles
doing
for.
that now. They have just a truck that's driving itself from point A to point B from the warehouse, and there's just a guy in there to make sure
Right.
of the stops for gas and things like
Yes.
that. Like it plug in the GPS. We're going from that Walmart warehouse in Arizona to like the Walmart in Chicago.
Yes.
That needs
Right, because
this cargo.
it still can't fuel itself,
Still can't
Right.
fuel itself yet.
and it can, to a limited extent, can unload the stuff that's on there by itself.
Yeah,
That's
robot.
crazy. Yeah. So you need someone
It's
to
robotic.
unload and load.
Right. Well, because what
A
they
little
do,
bit.
what they have now is they have the high-low
Yes.
or a lift, whatever you want to call it, and it's remote controlled.
Yep.
And they do, and the thing takes off package number 72.
Yep.
That whole crate, bang, and puts it here, and it's done. You put it back underneath the truck or inside the truck, wherever it goes,
Yeah.
and you're on your business. Right?
Oh, yeah.
You're on your way.
And then the next step from there, because I think about it all the time, the only thing that stops humanity from progressing is our bodies, our physical bodies.
course.
So like once we're
Because
able
we have to
take-
make those bodies do certain things.
we have to make the body and really the body is set up for survival. So if you have
Yes.
the option to sit down and only eat and indulge, then that's what the body will do.
Yeah,
But like
right.
things have to get done. So like once you can stop the prevention of the physical body, that's when humanity progresses. The only way to do that is through artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Taking
AI.
the conscious brain that we have now and putting it into a body that has no limitations, that works off the power of the sun, that's charged
Correct.
all day while it's outside, and then at
Right.
night it
while
can run
there's
off.
sun.
Well,
Right.
Elon Musk may get close to that.
Well, there's companies that have been there before.
I know,
Elon Musk was in
But
like
he, but
Honda
he,
and
but
things like
he will.
Right.
Yes, Honda's been working on that forever. But I truly think that Elon Musk will have a very big play in the idea
that.
of
He's gonna have a play in it.
how
that
we move
makes sure
forward with
it
AI.
goes the good direction.
Correct.
Because there's a lot
Right.
of there's a
Yes,
lot
he
of ways.
definitely seems like a good guy. He's
He's
no
like the good.
he's no villain.
Right.
He's the
What
good
it
guy. in
seems
all
like
this.
right now.
That's a great shirt. But Big Rich got me this shirt too, which is the Warrior shirt, and Big Rich has
And
it.
he said
Good-
by the end
great
of
shirt,
this year, I think Elon Musk said by the end of this year, he's going to have a car that's going to go 400 miles before you have to recharge it.
Well, they have it now.
No, it's close to 400.
It's close. It's not.
Well,
it's not-
his
he said it's
cars
going
are
to be
close.
400 right around 400 miles
But here's
before you have to charge it.
Here's another one for Elon Musk, and this is a freebie out there, Elon, right? Your boy right here has gone into the Tesla. There's a Tesla dealership right near me right here in Jersey, and I've test driven a couple of the Teslas already, and I love them. They're just amazing cars. But the whole recharging system is the problem right now, is because, like
Because
you
there's
said,
not enough of it around.
right. But
And they're popping up more and more frequently now.
here is my suggestion for
That
you,
might be something to go into.
Elon, is the fact that the wheels are constantly moving on the car. There has to be a way for you to generate energy that gets stored. So I know that the tires are moving, but inside the wheel well, there is a way for them to create another magnet that has it so that when the wheel spins every single time, some magnetic force, either backwards or forwards, and I'm not sure how it will store the energy, because otherwise the energy that's getting in there, going inside the wheel well. Inside the wheel, on the rim, there needs to be some kind of magnet. Inside the wheel well, there needs to be some way to transfer that energy that's constantly moving from the wheels, to transfer it, to have it stored. That's the hardest thing that they've had to figure out so far.
It's how to store continuous energy when it's actually moving.
When it's actually
right,
moving.
because that's the I guess that's the ultimate goal for these guys, is having the energy being able to be stored as you're using it.
They already had Elon Musk has already spoke on this topic, and the answer that they come up and they have way better minds than we do. Their answer is
Don't think
not
that
necessarily.
1 minute.
They're focused on that particular thing.
And
Like
they have
all the time.
I'm focused on plumbing.
Right.
Now you come to me and you say, I need this, that, and the other thing for plumbing. I got it figured out.
Right.
Because that's what I do. When somebody says, hey, you know what? I want to take this picture, but I want it to have a blue hue and a yellow background. You're going to go, this is how you do it.
Right.
When somebody says, hey, Mo, I want this burger to look like this, he's going to go, this is how you do it.
He has a better mind for
He's
electric cars.
Right.
His answer, which is eventually to put a charge in the streets. So it's just charging as you're driving.
I mean, the ground itself.
Yeah, that's a conductor.
Well,
basically like solar panels.
Right.
That charge your car as you're
that
going.
concept has been done 100 years ago.
Yeah.
That concept was done with
Solar
trolley
panels.
cars.
Yeah.
But this is just going to be like in
Right.
the pavement.
As opposed to it being overhead
overhead
like
or
they
a
did.
track on.
Right. They'll track it through the streets. Now they did with all they took up all our streets in the 80s and took them and ran wire and cables through it so everybody can have cable television.
Yeah, cable television.
They did it in the streets in the 80s everywhere.
Yeah.
And if they couldn't do it underground, they did it by pole.
Which is ugly.
Right. And that's how we connect now. Still, cable lines come from up on top. Electric comes from on top.
Yeah, but that's the cloud. The cloud eventually gets rid of all this.
Yeah, well, you hope,
All
because
the
there
wires.
has to be a way to transfer the energy. And that's why I'm saying is that there is a way for them to have that Tesla car. That Tesla car, when those wheels spin, there is a way for that energy to be produced, taken, and stored
All
in
at
the
the same
car
time.
at the
Right.
same time. There has to be a
Well,
way.
the wheels are spinning because there's energy being spent from within the car already. So I think that's negative energy that's coming out of the car. I don't know if there's anything positive happening.
No, it has to. How do you think revolutions happen?
Yeah, but that's
Revolutions
happening
create
because
energy.
That's because of the positive energy that's already coming from the car.
Again, the idea is that when the wheels spin, anything spinning in a certain RPM creates energy. That's why we have windmills. Windmills do the same thing. That's like saying, well, then
Yeah, but
windmills don't produce energy.
But a windmill is being pushed by positive energy from the air.
It's still being
Right.
moved.
Yeah, by
As
the
long
air.
as you're creating-
it's being moved by this. The car is spending positive energy ready to spin the wheel. So
But the
that's negative
wheel is
energy
still
coming out.
moving. It's still creating energy. Energy is caused by movement. Movement
Yeah, but-
creates energy. So if the wheel is spinning,
Yeah, but it's being spun by something that's already
Producing
that's already
energy.
spending positive
it
energy.
still does the same thing.
Right. Well,
Energy still
we're going to
does
leave
the
it to
same
them
thing.
to figure out, because we're not going to figure it out in one podcast. That's for sure.
No, definitely not going to figure it out on one podcast. And it definitely take more than 2-3 beers. I can tell you that much.
Right.
Because
The more beers we have,
the smarter we will get.
that's right.
I think the dumber we'll sound, but the smarter we will get.
Yeah.
In your head, you're a genius.
That's it.
Just like when you do acid, you're like, I'm a fucking god.
Yes.
And you're really just kind of in the corner by a tree, just like.
Yeah.
Doing reverse push-ups.
Oh man.
I was on mushrooms once in the woods by me, and I was like, yo, I figured it out. Like 20 minutes after I was done, I was in my apartment, like, damn, what am I going to eat now?
You figured it all out, and then
I got home and was like,
nothing.
damn,
Same
nothing
thing.
to eat. Yo.
Nothing.
Same thing. Mushrooms, man.
Yeah.
I'm not promoting drugs. Do not.
Ayahuasca.
No, you
Do
can
not
promote
promote
mushrooms
drugs.
now because now it's proven that's the safest and best
Yes.
drug for you, and it's legal in Denver.
Yes, it
It's
is.
just legalized.
But same thing. One night or one afternoon. I
Isn't
don't
Cali
remember.
going to legalize it too now?
Yes.
It's right there. Probably.
On mushrooms with a bunch of guys. I had all the answers.
You figured out world
I
peace?
figured out everything. And I told everybody. I stood up.
World peace.
I stood up and I says, "Look at me, guys. I have all the answers." And they shot a question at me. I don't even remember what it was.
You're probably like ham
Don't
on
know.
rye, baby.
That's it, man.
That's happened one time. My
It was more like beer me. Give me another beer.
my boy's like, yo, just he's like, when you get to that point when you're on a psychedelic where you know everything in here, but nothing's coming out, and you're just kind of like, like what you're saying, you're God, like you're like, yo, anything, bro, I got you on any single thing, but really it's just gibberish coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
You're
Some
speaking in tongues.
Yeah, some unknown language. You're like,
But that may be the release of your brain speaking a language.
for you,
Yeah.
some unknown shit. It's like
Well,
in Men in Black when
Yeah,
they
that's like
open up that dude's
those
face.
crazy
and
people. They
aliens,
get struck by lightning. All of a sudden, they speak 18 languages.
18
Yeah.
languages.
Yeah.
Or that one kid who came off a DMT trip and he was able to shred the guitar,
There you go.
like shred it.
Yeah.
Insane. Well, he played before, but now
Ayahuasca.
he's hitting licks,
Right.
You know,
Ayahuasca.
No, it was DMT.
DMT.
Dimethyltryptamine.
Oh, that's the other stuff.
That's the
DMT.
life.
That's the one that Joe Rogan talks about a lot.
Yeah, but there's been like books published. Like Joe Rogan's just an advocate of it, but like
No, I know that, but I'm just saying he talks about it a lot.
always, because that shit probably changed his life. You know, he was just as poor as anybody else, and then he kept getting into psychedelics more and more, got into comedy more and more, then became who he is now. I mean, I don't know his whole story, but you know, guys who do that, they get crazy off the psychedelics,
Joe's a bug out,
and their life change forever. You know, it's because they like maybe they got like some kind of confidence to do something they never were able to do before. Because it really becomes simple. When I did acid the first time, I was like, how am I going to make a movie? And that's what I did the whole time while I was tripping. I was like, just thinking about movies. And the answer was so clear but it was the simplest answer I knew already. It was like, just make a fucking movie.
Yeah.
What more do you want? Like, I know there's more.
Go for it. Yeah.
Now that I've made it, I know that
put on your big boy pants and let's go. Right.
What do you need? Who do you need to come here to smack you in the face and tell you to do it?
Put on
Steven Spielberg.
Me. You need to put on your big boy underwears, and sometimes those are thongs.
Right. Well, or the banana hammock.
Or the banana hammock.
Every once in a while, you got to throw those on. You see the look in his eyes?
The man speedo.
Listen to me. I hate to tell you this, but you will be called upon at some point as an Ambrosio. Listen. Don't say never.
You don't have to show everybody.
Don't say never. Don't say never. You may have to put on an outfit that you are totally like, I don't know. I don't know if I could do this, but you may have to.
You might have to.
You might have to. Like when we go to Comic-Con this year, we are definitely wearing costumes.
I'll dress up.
Yeah, we are definitely wearing costumes. And they don't even have to be comic book related.
No, definitely not.
Ask me about my wiener. Just go as a hot dog, like from Accepted.
There you go.
Jonah Hill's.
There you go.
I can go as Buddha. They wouldn't even care.
Right.
Oh, shit.
If you ever watch like the Comic-Con like promo videos, there's always a great amount of people that are in comic book attire, like anime or something. But then you just get the random stragglers who are just like dressed up as a pyramid. Just like walking around as a pyramid. It's like, what's that? That's from issue 46 of Deadpool. That guy in the background.
Right. Page 27.
Yeah.
What are you smoking it? Yes, I am.
I rolled my pot in the comic book pages, and this is what it told me to do.
I am now one with the comic book.
I am a comic book.
Yes. I think that's
some of them are like that. Some people go to the extreme, and some guys are like that
to prove that they really know comics.
Yeah,
like this, issue 108. A fucking X-Blade. This guy, I'm telling you,
this guy. You only saw his back.
You saw his back, but I made up with the front.
Right. You only saw his back. He had that. Don't get asphyxiated on the stupid fly. Forget it, because we'll all be staring at.
He's fucking.
He was over here before drinking beer.
Sons of bitch. Now he's all drunk. That's what the problem is. He's drunk. That's what the good thing about, like I said, burgers, brews and burgers, right? Is the fact that everybody gets to drink and eat a little bit. We should have left the fly out a little burger there, or something. Right? A cheeseburger with a little bacon on it. Right there, could have hooked my man up.
Yep.
And this way, when
the bacon.
This way, when we crush him, you don't feel so bad.
We ate well. We drank well.
What do you call a fly that can't fly no more?
A walk.
A walk, folks. A walk. And didn't I do that to you the other day? Like, look, what is it? Oh, no, that was at work. I was like, look.
No, that was at Manny's shop.
Ernie's shop.
There was remember I was like pointing the phone at there was a fly on the floor.
Yeah. I was like, hey, what is that? What is that now? He goes, I don't know. I go, it's a walk. He can't fly no more. He's a walk.
He's just chilling, man.
Some people get it, some people don't. They're like, oh, I don't get it. And I'm like, never mind. You simple-minded fuck you.
It's the last thing that goes through a bug's mind when he hits your windshield.
He's like
his asshole.
There he is. Look at him. That motherfucker. He landed right on your head. That some bitch. See, and it's one of them little ones too.
Oh yeah, Nat.
Yeah, Nat. We know Nat. And it's funny because Nat is an exterminator.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. The mind fuck that is. His name is Nat. And he owns an exterminating business.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Get this man another beer.
It's good for you, Nat. I hope you make good money. Your kids are happy going to college, man. Take care of
you met Nat.
You ready?
Yes, you met Nat.
Who's Nat?
Manny's best friend.
Spanish guy. Man.
Met his daughter. When you were a baby and she was a baby, you guys
same age.
But anyway, I digress. That was a while ago. But it's funny. His name is Nathaniel, but we call him Nat.
Oh,
And he's an exterminator.
I lost a shoe.
And he's
Fell off.
You didn't lose. You have your slides on. You didn't lose the shoe. You have your slides on, right?
There's a problem. I never called them slides. I was calling them slippers.
Slippers.
And people in Pennsylvania always call them slides. I'm like, bro.
Oh, slides.
Yeah.
Flip-flops.
Well, they're slippers. Well,
They're
not
slippers, flip-flops.
flip-flops.
Oh, not flip-flops.
Chunklatas.
yeah, chunklata. But you don't call the flip flop. Has to have the tongue thong. Right, has the thong for the
flip
for the
Right.
toes.
You got the slide, right? You said the slide.
I guess it's called slide because you slide your
you slide your foot into
Slide
it,
in, right.
right? But the flip flop, or what are they really called?
slipper.
Thongs. They're called thongs.
Tongue.
Yeah,
Not tongues.
right. But that was the thing, like you have the one string cheek sneak there with the ladies, and they do the whole
The guy in
thing.
the middle is Nat.
Yeah, you met him quite a few times already.
Probably. Maybe
But
he was
anyway.
younger or something.
Yeah, younger. No, recently.
Oh, sorry, not.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, whatever.
so I'm sure he's all right with it. I'm sure he's not.
Still wish you all the best with the exterminator.
Yeah, no, he does.
He
No,
does all right,
Nat
does all right.
does very well for himself over there, and I love Nat. But it's just
Hell yeah,
ironic.
bring me home some cigars.
Oh yeah, he had this. I don't know if he got rid of the cigar shop yet.
Said
I
he
haven't
was
spoken
trying.
to him. He was trying to sell. He has a cigar shop in Bay Ridge.
Oh, nice.
Plus the exterminating business.
What's it called? The cigar shop?
I don't know.
I'm not even sure it's on 3rd Avenue. I forgot.
We looked it up last time.
Yep.
I don't remember what it was called.
I can't remember.
Smoke it.
It's gotta be. Gotta be.
Smokity.
Smoke them up.
Look at a smoking a pancake. Bong and a blintz. Or smoking a pancake. Big Rich is going to look it up. I mean, I'm not a cigar. Big Rich smokes cigars. I'm not a cigar smoker.
Yeah.
No, right?
A couple of times, like there's always like trends and stuff that go around. There's like a while, like a year or two period where everybody I knew was smoking cigars.
Cigars.
It was like the hot thing to do, and
Right.
I smoked a couple cigars. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm not a.
I was a cigarette smoker, so I would always smoke a cigar and be like, "Fuck, I want a cigarette now," and then just put the thing down. But and then it was funny. It's a cigar, you're getting like a decent, enjoyable cigar for like $8-10.
Boss Tobacco?
No.
No.
Definitely not Boss Tobacco.
That sounds very prestigious.
It's called.
Is it on 3rd Avenue or 4th Avenue?
I think it's on 3rd. I think it's called a smoking a pancake.
Bong and a bunch.
That's your boy,
Yeah, it's Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
Mike
boy.
Myers.
Yep.
I was recently reading the Wayne's World script,
Oh, another.
The Humidor.
The Humidor.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
92nd and 3rd. That's it.
Yeah, I
The
think-
Humidor.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That's a cool name. That's a very ununique name,
Yeah.
unoriginal name.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's it.
The humidor.
The
I don't know if he
humidor.
still has it. I have to call and find out. Should we call Nat? Find out right now. We should, right?
You know.
Let's call Nat and see what's going
Go right
on with
ahead.
Nat. Let's see what he says. Nat may say, "Yo, what are you bothering me for?"
Right.
Or he
Why are
may
you bothering me?
He may just tell me. So let's find out. We just call Nat because we do that sometimes.
I'm eating a burger. Why are you guys bothering me?
Right.
You
Let's
got
see.
cheese on that burger? Oh, you really calling him?
No, I'm really calling.
Shit.
What do you think, Chris?
About a lot.
Clickety-clack.
I think about a lot of things.
Clickety-clack.
But I don't know what I think about.
Think about calling Nat.
You're calling that.
He's not answering.
Tell him hi.
That's not going to answer.
Yo, Nat, why you answer the phone? Pick up the phone.
He's like, bro, I'm chilling right now.
He's like, it's Sunday. Why are you calling me?
He's like, bro.
You got a bug problem? See? We, I can't give you Nat's number.
We know
That's
it's
the only problem.
516.
You know what I mean? I can't give everybody Nat's number. So I'm gonna have to leave it alone for now. But that's what's up right there. Nat has an exterminating company, and it's a very ironic thing that his name is Nat, and he has an exterminating
Yeah,
company.
it is.
And he has a cigar shop. But I don't know if he still has it. And we would have found out had he answered the phone. Yo, Nat, answer the phone next time. You heard? You know what I mean? But that's what's going diggity down this weekend. My brother Big Rich, my son Christopher. It's all about the brews and burgers.
So I'm going to call him that.
So Rich is going to call Nat now. You call Nat now. Let's see if we get Nat on the phone. You know what I mean? We got it. But that's the good part about doing the podcast. We do call people and put everybody up on the spot.
We could.
Yeah, we should.
We can.
Should. Do you have Nat's number?
I'll call Nat right
now. Oh, you calling Nat right now? You put it on speakerphone? Let's see if he answers your call. If he answers yours and don't answer mine, I'm going to be mad.
Well, you know what it might be? You might think that we both called. There might be something wrong.
Oh, but that's okay, too.
No, forwarded.
All right.
So,
All right. So he didn't answer either one of us. I hope he's all right. I hope everything's okay. Cool, right? That's the main thing. But other than that,
he might just be home rubbing one out.
Yeah, or two.
You never know. Yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday's back-to-backs rub out.
Right. Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day rub out. we could have it whack it off Wednesday.
Whack it off Wednesday.
That's always a fun one. Whack it off Wednesdays.
So tune in on Wednesday.
So we got a card trick for us. No. Oh, show us the first one, the quick one you learned, the one where you smashed and the cards come out in your hand.
They're not going to be able to see it over there.
So move the mic a little bit and move the bottles. Let's see.
Oh, keep talking. I got to do a little bit of setup.
Oh, I bet your meat is good.
He's got to magic it up.
Hey, you never know what's going to happen here on the Everything and Nothing podcast. Could be Whack It Day.
So it could be
Magic Trick Day.
It could be Magic Trick Day.
Yeah, you never know.
No.
But that's what's up. I'm trying next Sunday. You're coming back, right?
Coming back. You're going to have a return guest.
We're going to have yes. I always love when Big Rich, especially my son Christopher too. These are the great times. So we're trying to get together. We're trying to get the band back together.
We're getting the band back together. So what did the guy order? 3 whole chickens and a Diet Coke. What?
And some dry toast.
What did the other guy order?
2 slices of dry. I was listening.
Dry toast.
Christopher's been fiending over. He hasn't seen the Blues Brothers. No, I did. I made the same face.
He's no child of yours.
No, he's a sweet child of mine.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
No, Blues Brothers.
Because you can't find it online.
Yeah, Netflix and all of them, you have to buy it.
Yeah,
and
you gotta buy it.
I don't have the DVD of it or the VHS of it. So
yeah. I don't think I have. I used to have the DVD.
No, I had the VHS.
Yeah, that's the one I had.
You know what? That might be one of the ones I didn't throw out. I saved like maybe 10.
Might still have it. That's one of the
one.
That's one of the must-see movies.
Right. It's like Weird Science. I have Weird Science. I still have.
Yeah.
I've never seen Weird Science.
No, another great one.
Yeah. Another step up my original comedy game.
Yeah.
I have this thing where like I've noticed this like making films and like writing them and like studying them and shit. Is like a lot of the films that you watch, especially right now, the past like 5 years, they're films based on people's love for films. When the original films were based on people's real stories and like real things they've done or like things they have acted out, like on SNL. Because like Wayne's World, for example, I was talking about that. Wayne's World was started as a SNL skit.
As a skit, right?
As a skit. Same thing with I forgot what else I was watching, but it started like a lot of these things start off as skits.
Yep.
And then they're like,
Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers
is a perfect example.
Blues Brothers is a skit.
SNL skit.
Wayne's World's a skit. All SNL skits.
Yep.
Same thing with Adam Sandler or something.
Yes.
Or Adam Sandler.
Yes.
Adam Sandler.
Someone else. I forget who, but David Spade was with Adam Sandler's generation. Chris Farley.
Yes.
I don't think he did. I'm sure they have, but like he was just a guy who was funny and got noticed because of SNL and got made a movie. But like he didn't like not one skit that he did was made into a movie.
Right.
He just came from SNL. He's hysterical.
Right.
But that's the thing I know. So like people doing like perfect example of sitcoms. Seinfeld was based off of real life. Like Larry David was and Seinfeld were writing about shit that happened to them. And then people love Seinfeld. So now when someone's inspired by something like that, they're writing about inspirations that they got from a television show. So it comes off very clunky and very robotic and very not real.
Yes.
When Seinfeld is something that's real. I mean, some of it is exaggerated.
Yes, of course. Well,
it's based off real life, so it feels authentic.
The exaggeration
feels real.
Is what makes it funny.
It makes it funny. So then you get shows, and they're just not real. They just don't feel real, and that's like a big thing that's happening now too, especially with comedies, because they're inspired by things like Blues Brothers. So they're just recreating Blues Brothers moments. So it comes off a little weird.
I told you who reminds me of John Belushi, right?
Yeah, Jack Black.
Jack Black has the same type of comedy,
but he's original as fuck. That's why his show and his movie work. Like Tenacious D was a band first.
Right.
Yes.
Then they made a television show on HBO, and then the television show was made into the movie. So it wasn't like Jack Black was like trying to recreate like John Belushi or the Blues Brothers.
He did his own thing.
Do an exaggeration of his and Kyle Gass's band.
Correct.
How they came together, just two fat regular guys made a cool ass band,
right?
And then they became a cool ass band.
Right.
You know, they're not like we're making a band show because we like the Blues
Well,
Brothers.
Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi was the same thing. That wasn't a skit on SNL. They were the music act,
right?
For SNL.
Yes, that was the act.
So SNL has a music guest every show.
Yeah.
So Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray
and Belushi,
Dan Aykroyd and Jim Belushi, his brother. Anyway, John Belushi.
Bill Murray?
No, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd did. They were the music for
SNL.
For SNL, and they were called the Blues Brothers.
Wow.
And they were just absolutely amazing. Like their love for music was incredible. Very much
was wild, and they Belushi is high as a kite.
Yes,
just jumped around and as big as that dude was, he did some of those flips.
All of them. I was telling Christopher that.
I mean, in the movie, you could see that which ones he did,
right,
and the couple that he didn't, because there was a couple of them that he was just but you could see which ones he did and which ones he didn't.
He was famous for the cartwheel.
Yes,
right. Famous for the cartwheel on stage.
That's great.
That was his thing,
But I have a friend who's probably pushing 300 pounds. And he's a short little dude.
And John Belushi,
and he can cartwheel.
And
I was like, what? And he was like, and we didn't believe him. And at my party one day, did 2-3
cartwheels.
Oh, you just did cartwils? Are you serious?
That's the best.
You could hit it.
And after half an 8-ball of cocaine, Belushi was doing them too.
10 in a row. You gotta stop it. You're doing it as you're rolling. You're hitting it.
But you could see John really had a blast.
Yep. Oh, he had.
Like blast after the blast.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. A couple of them in a row.
Right.
It was off the wall, man. The guy was great. The guy could make you laugh on a drop of a hat.
Oh, his skits,
literally a drop of a hat. I mean, this guy would drop his hat and you would laugh.
Yeah,
the guy was good.
And you have to see. So you have to see the Blues Brothers. Then you have to see Animal House.
Animal House.
No,
I seen part of one John Belushi movie when he's flying a plane in the beginning.
Oh, 1941.
1941.
Is that a funny one?
Yeah,
it was probably the least funny that he did, but it was still had his moments, still funny stuff in it.
Yeah. Movie makes me a movie I did see that is really funny. Black Sheep.
Yes.
My favorite part ever is when he's like driving it and the cop pulls him over. And he's like, "You're going 7 miles an hour."
I didn't know how fast we were going. How fast you were going? I don't know.
60, 70.
70. No. 7. We were doing 7.
7 miles an hour.
Sorry, officer.
Because the nitrous leaked out in the car, remember? And he was laughing. He didn't know what was going on. Mr. Blue came to the party.
Mr. Blue came to the party.
Mr. Blue. And all my peeps out there know who Mr. Blue is.
Had no doors.
Yeah.
Half a roof.
Yeah,
it was a great movie.
Great movie.
What a great movie. And that's what's up. And that's what...
I'm glad. That's for another show.
Yeah.
Definitely. We'll do just straight up... 80s comedies.
Oh man. Oh, we gotta have of course Christopher will come back. My movie man here. And I gotta have my buddy Craig Marshall come back. He's a big movie guy who does a lot of the superhero movies. He does a lot of talks about a lot the superhero movies. And Craig Marshall was on one of my podcasts before, who I adore, and we talked about filmmaking and we talked about storytelling through filmmaking, and that's what Christopher's doing now. And believe it or not, that's exactly what we are doing here now. So we are now creating these movies for ourselves to come back to at some point, and somebody will. And the good thing about the internet and YouTube and all this stuff is that this will be around.
Everything's available now. Everything is permanent.
Yeah.
So to say, the saying used to be 15 minutes of fame, everybody gets one.
No.
Not anymore. Now it's everything you want can be there on your cloud or your the internet, and it's always there forever for as long as you want it to be.
Forever and ever. So, that's a good thing, and I like that idea, and I like the idea of us getting together, and it was great that it happened to be the 4th of July week and weekend now, and we got a chance to enjoy some brews
and some burgers.
They were delicious.
And
then we're going to go upstairs and have the best cannoli.
Benest cannoli. The Benest.
Benest?
The best cannolis,
Hands down.
that you've ever eaten.
Anywhere, right?
And if somebody's got something to say about it, you bring your cannoli, I bring my cannoli. We'll see who wins. I had a guy once told me his freaking cannolis were good, so we drove 30 miles to see what his cannolis were like.
He had no good cannolis.
Please.
He didn't have no good cannolis. Listen to me. When you're talking about cannoli, you can only talk about one place, and that's Brooklyn.
Yes.
I really don't want to be the guy who's always putting down all the other places like, oh, we have good cannolis too. I'm like, listen to me. I'm not saying that the cannolis the way you're eating them or where you're getting them from are not bad.
No. I don't want to say yours is bad.
No. They're just not as good as Palermo's.
Right.
In Brooklyn.
Right. It's like telling me you came from, Wisconsin.
Right.
And said you had good pizza.
Hello, Wisconsin.
What do you think about that? Pizza, my ass. Right. Talk to me about pizza in another state.
Right.
Oh man, you have a pizza in Florida?
Only other state that compares is Chicago.
Yeah, but they do things totally different.
It's like a meal. It's something Chicago style. So the deep dish, it's a meal.
I don't like it.
It's a meal. It's a knife and fork meal.
It's
something that you do if you
it's like a frittata of pizza.
Right. But we talked about that already too, right? If you got to take a fork and knife to your pizza, that ain't pizza.
That's not pizza.
And if you don't fold it, you're weird.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you do that thing, I've seen people do this, especially like traveling around. Mm-hmm. They have the slice of pizza and they flop it onto itself.
Oh, the end, and they put
and I'm like,
dude, you don't do that.
You
once in a while, I kind of have to.
If it's a sloppy pizza.
If it doesn't stand up,
then you.
But then, usually, if it doesn't stand up, we don't go back to that pizza.
You don't go back there. But if it doesn't stand up, you kind of dangle it into your mouth and you bite it until it does.
Until it does.
You bite it. You take a half a slice bite.
Yeah. It also means you didn't cook it long enough.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not crispy on the bottom.
Right. It ain't crispy.
Or like some of these guys, they throw that metal grate underneath the pizza.
Why are you doing that?
I don't know.
Who's doing that?
That's if the oven's like super hot and they cook the pies really quick because they're doing a lot of deliveries high. Like
I've never seen it.
They do that in New York too. When I worked at the pizzeria, they do that because they're
cooking that metal grate.
10 pies like at all times.
Really?
There's like 2 layers of oven and they're just like so it doesn't burn.
Because they're too hot.
It cooks in like 5 minutes of whole pie and then
but you know what? They do that in the brick oven. It burns at 800 and something degrees, and they don't use it.
And they cook their pizzas for less than 2 minutes.
Right. Well, it's just
That's the proper way. It's just an excuse. You don't know how to manage your pizza.
You get the little metal grating at the bottom of it. It's like they cooked it on the pavement.
Yeah.
They starved David at it.
That's no good.
No.
That's a no good.
No, can't do that.
In Italian accent, that's a no good. No way. That's a no good for sure.
We don't say you, but a somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you, but somebody out there is cooking their pizza on grates, and I don't care where you're going or who you think you're fooling with that nonsense right there. Cook your pizza the right way in a hot fucking oven.
Right. Give it to me nice and crispy. Otherwise, we're not going back.
On the deck of the oven. What's wrong with you? That's it.
It's like those guys wherever else you want to go, Pennsylvania, whatever it is, and they make bagels.
Yeah, no good.
The funny thing is, matter of fact, I want to tell you a little short synopsis of is that Nate?
Oh, look,
Nat.
Look who's calling us back.
Oh, Nat's calling us back.
Mr. Nat is calling us back.
Let's see what Nat's got to say.
Let's see what Nat's got to say. What up, Bo?
Yo.
Listen to me. Yo, turn on my YouTube channel right now.
Oh shit! How do I do that?
You go on YouTube because you're live right now. You are live on YouTube with me, my brother, and my son.
So,
Oh wow! You know, I was going to tell you, they had I was watching this fight. I forgot what on ESPN, and they spoke about your pops.
I told you. That's it. I told you. That's it. My pops is. People don't listen to me when I say, "Yo, my pops is real famous."
What was it? Anniversary of George Foreman's first fight.
Yes.
And
it was
50 years.
They had your father. They spoke about your father.
Yep.
That he was his first opponent.
Professional. Yes.
And then they said, rest in peace, Don. He died April
20th.
Holy shit! I don't know if you saw that shit.
Yeah. And so a couple of people. And what was funny, Nat, truly, you are really on my live podcast right now.
Right.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Everybody say hello to Nat.
What's up, Nat?
So So we were talking about you, of course, and thank you very much for saying that about my pops, and that really means a lot. But we were talking about you because we were talking about friends and ironic things, and we were talking about a couple of things. Rich smokes his cigars. We mentioned you, and I said, how great is it that I have a friend named Nat, and he owns an exterminating business.
That's right. Everything. Anything you need done, we do it.
That's it. And this week's podcast is sponsored by.
Oh yeah, you're going to be our first unsponsored sponsor this week. Give me so our
sponsor, Shannon Show.
Yeah. So all you have to do now is plug your business. So my unsponsored sponsor for this week's podcast is, and Nat, go through the whole thing. Tell everybody who you are and what your business is.
Well, my name is Nat, and the company is called Positive Pest Control. We offer a wide variety of pest control services to suit your needs. We exceed our customers' expectations. You can call 1-718. We're Brooklyn based, of course.
Brooklyn.
333-337-7855.
And
we'll dispatch one of our lovely techs or one of our masculine techs as soon as you need them.
That is the best part about it right there. I'll tell you that right now. And wait till somebody shows up. They're going to kill everything.
Everything.
Anything that's got more than 2 legs.
Do it for them. We'll do it too. For an additional fee, of course. Rich.
Nice.
So, man, how are you,
thank you. So we mentioned you, and then we said
we tried to call you.
We tried to call, and then we said, "Oh, you
inside the house. I was outside."
Right, and then you got the cigar shop still, or no?
Yes, we do.
And where is that?
9213 3rd Avenue.
Right, it's called the Humidor.
What's it called?
It's called the Humidor.
Right.
And you go over there for all your smoking needs. You're smoking and pancakes.
We have everything over there.
Cigarettes?
As well.
My son wants to know, you got cigarettes?
Customers' expectations.
You got the same logo?
Yeah, the same logo, man.
But without the bug. Instead of a bug, it's a cigar.
No bugs, purely top-grade cigars.
That's it.
Rich wants to know, do you have the bug smoking the cigar for the logo?
Well, once we terminate them, they're in bug heaven, smoking whatever they want. I'm sure they're smoking somewhere.
Nice.
But when we kill them, smoke is coming out of their ass.
Oh, brother, so great to hear from you.
Man.
Good to hear from you, Nat.
Man. Keep up the good work.
That's what's up. All right, so don't forget to turn on the podcast now.
I will.
Go on YouTube and type in my name.
You got it, brother. You guys, I love you, man.
All right,
Love you
Nat,
too.
love you too, man.
Later, man.
Peace. Well, everybody, that was Nat. And it was nice to have him on, and it was great. You see, that's how you know. Look, James Russell, if you're still watching, look, friends, right? I called, and it wasn't even 20 minutes later. He saw that he missed the call and called back. Isn't that crazy how that works?
Who's James? Why are we flaming this guy?
Because he lives right next door.
Oh, that James. Next door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if we
live next
yell
door,
loud enough, he can hear us.
Walk next door.
Yeah, no, I spoke to him the other day. You don't remember?
Yeah, through the window.
Through the window, and let him know that he hasn't returned my call in 2 weeks.
The old Brooklyn way.
Yeah,
Through the window.
that's what I told him. Through the window.
No, that's also a generation-wide thing. If I get a call from somebody I want to talk to, I'm just like, I'll make believe I never got that. That's it.
Listen, generation irresponsible.
Yeah,
That's right.
But even now, I always call everyone back, because the people who call me are like only people I like talk to all the time.
Right, you talk to enough.
Yeah,
Right.
Like
Yeah,
this-
so
like
that's another thing about that.
you can just make.
What do you
believe didn't get it.
mean? I didn't get. What do you mean you didn't get it?
Yeah, there's nobody does voicemails anymore either.
Right.
Like that's another thing. Like you used to have a voicemail, you would hear it.
Right.
Now,
Well, now
people
you
hang
don't.
up before they leave.
No, I got that, but that's what texting's for. So then you text somebody,
Right.
Yeah.
and now,
You can make believe you didn't get that either.
yeah. But let me explain
Yeah, but
something.
a lot of them you see
can
it has a
tell.
check mark next
Right.
to it or double check mark.
That's on Facebook and apps. Like unless you have your read receipts on the phone, they won't know. If you
No,
read
they
it.
don't know that. But what I'm saying to you now, and here's one for your generation, because you folks like to say that a lot. Oh, what? I didn't get it. I go, listen to me. In this day, in this era,
You got
with the
it.
technology and the advancements in technology,
Right.
we all know that you have read it or seen it at some point, and
Within the next couple hours.
within the next couple hours, and your irresponsible ass has decided
Just
not to get
decided
back.
not to get back to it.
Right. And that's the truth right there.
Right.
But there are cases like if you're
I'm not
doing
saying
shit and shit.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, listen, you
know,
get
in the middle of the night.
interrupted.
But if it was important, the next day you'll reach out.
You'll get back. Or, 2 days, even 3. I give the 3-day grace period sometimes.
Yeah.
If it's not important. Then after the 3 days, I give the old text. Hey, don't know if you received this. And it right? Because we do that all right.
Don't know if you saw.
But there's also like outside of friendships, there's like certain anxieties people my age have now because there's like
break it down for us.
There's this whole thing. Well, one, because we don't know how to have conversations, real conversations. Well, I do, but a lot of people my age don't. Like,
right?
You know how hard it is to talk to just a girl now. Like, unless but you're texting them, they got everything to say. In person, they're like,
tell us, break it down.
But there's like it's like especially it's like a success or an employer thing. It's like, when do you follow up, and you feel annoying. Like you feel like you're annoying a person,
right?
Like, because you can like email like people and they don't answer the first 2 times. Like, do I send another email? So it becomes the same thing with a text,
right?
If you don't text them back, they don't text you back. Do I text them again? What do I do? Do I call them? They clearly don't want to fucking talk to me because they're on their phone and they're choosing not to answer you back.
Right,
so it becomes like an anxiety thing that was created because of this,
correct,
and the new form of communication. It's like if somebody's not answering me, I know they don't want to talk to me. So
correct.
If I text them again, that's annoying. Now they have 2 messages from me, 3 messages from me, a missed phone call from me.
Correct.
I'm giving up. And that's where there's like a big epidemic where people, especially romantic relationships, have a ghosting problem. People don't answer you.
Somebody just said that.
They're choosing not to answer you.
Right.
So then you're like, they don't love me. They don't want to talk to me. And then you don't want to message them again. So maybe if you did message them one more time, it would have saved the relationship.
Right.
But I think about all the time, because I'm obsessed with the generation before me, like the 80s and the 70s and shit. You would just fucking drive to that person's house. Yo, I'm here. What's up? What are we doing? Like, it wasn't annoying back then, but this created new anxiety. Like, yo, you guys know all about that.
Yeah.
Yo, you home?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yo, I'll be right out.
Yeah.
You don't do that no more. Now you feel weird.
Yep.
Yo, is Jimmy home? You don't do that shit no more. You feel weird. You feel like you're putting yourself onto people because you have to text them first. Yo, I'm outside.
Right, you're being aggressive.
Exactly.
Right.
Yo, I'm here. Can you let me in? Instead of being like, yo, I'm here to hang out, or yo, I'm here. Let's go.
Well,
Get in the car.
I mean, there are situations for all of that stuff, and it's handled in a very different way, right? When we're talking about relationship-wise, male to female, female to male, or whatever it is, male to male, female to female, whatever it is. In an intimate relationship, yes, that does get scary, and I agree with that one. If somebody's not calling you or texting you back, that means they don't want to talk to you. You lay off. That's it. That's the end of that. But I'm talking about dudes or girls who have friends or girlfriends that have girlfriends, friends that they're friends with, not girlfriend. But you have friends and you don't text somebody back. You already know there's something wrong. They're mad at you or whatever the case may be. So you move on.
When your dude friends don't text you back, it's like, bro.
Yeah, it's like, yo, dude, all right.
Do something scumbaggy. Then it's okay.
Then I'm like, yo, all right. So so what? We ain't friends or whatever. And that's my thing too. Like after a few times, I'm like, all right, obviously.
You don't want to talk to me right now.
So
and
I'm good.
All right.
But then here's the thing. So instead of creating anxiety and giving my generation an excuse, the next thing is that there's not a lot of face-to-face confrontation.
Yes.
Back in the day, you wanted to go see your boy, you knock on his door.
Yes.
Oh, what's up, man? Come outside. Now it's just, I can avoid this text message by just not answering. Just not answering this person back.
When we were younger, we met somewhere.
Yeah. We all hung out. Like I said, we all hung out
we hung out at the same place
all the time.
All the time.
We're meeting up at the diner at 2:00.
Yes. Or, like I said, after school, we all went somewhere. And if you had a problem with somebody, you knew where they were going to be.
You could beat them up. Now
well,
it's like,
if it went that far. But I'm just saying, if not, you knew you were going to see your boys the next day.
Right, the next day.
Like, recently, my one boy has a problem with somebody else. And like you're just saying, like, you know where they would be. His way of solving the problem was sending him a text message threatening him.
Right.
He could just ignore that message.
Yes.
And then your point is not across.
Correct.
And I'm not saying I'm any different. I don't be going to I do. My one really close friend, Frank, I just go to his house whenever I got to go. He's always inside, knock on the door. What's up?
Right.
Right. Well, there's very few of your friends that you do that with.
Yeah.
Just even with us. I mean, like, I don't just show up at somebody's house now.
No.
Yeah. Now you're
never
texting,
do
what's going on? You're free tomorrow. Then you're, hey, I'm outside.
Yes.
What's the point of even having a doorbell now?
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
I don't even have one.
Even the delivery people, when you have Uber Eats now, your guys outside.
Right. Guys outside, or they call you.
Go open your door for your dude.
Right.
Like this.
Which to me is kind of okay. I don't mind that. What I mind, like I said before, is when you text somebody or call somebody that you talking with or trying to make arrangements with or whatever, and then all of a sudden they stop calling you or they don't respond or whatever, and I'm like,
too easy to avoid.
yes, it's very easy to avoid situations now because of the phones on a personal relationship basis, and even business relationships now are extending into that same
same realm,
same genre. So in other words, like I said, no call, no shows now. It's like, it's bullshit because everybody has a friggin' phone.
I know you got it.
There's homeless people with phones now, man.
Yes.
I know you got it.
Listen to me. We were talking about this the other day, right? And I'm going to bring this up because here's the funny thing that we talk about. This is some funny shit. So I take the Cross Bronx Expressway a lot of times back and forth to work, and there's just always traffic on it. And if you've ever driven the Cross Bronx, you know it's a fucking disaster. It's like the Bell Park.
It's a nightmare.
So on that Cross Bronx Expressway, there's always homeless people. And who knows if they're homeless? That's what the signs say. The homeless people, they walk on the friggin' highway because there's so much traffic, and
Wow.
begging for money.
Wow,
Literally.
That's something that the politicians for sure need to
handle immediately.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. On the friggin' highway.
The highway is going so slow that people can beg for change.
Yes. Well,
or whatever it is.
That's another podcast. We'll talk about that. The overpopulation of certain things.
Right.
But the funny thing is, what you were saying is that get on the Cross Bronx, and there they are, homeless, standing on the side of on the highway with their homeless sign, begging for money on their cell phones like this. And I'm like, how are you begging for money and paying for a cell phone?
Yeah, well,
what's up with that?
For example, my shit's only $20 a month. You make $20 as a homeless person. You pay your phone bill.
You making $20. You're making $20 in 20 minutes.
Yeah, and you make 25. You still got money for a bag of dope.
Word up.
Yep.
Phone bill and dope. That's all you need.
Or whatever else you're taking.
Word. But the problem I have now, we talked about this. We would make a fucking SNL skit about something. Here you go. The guy has the homeless sign, right? And every week says the same thing. Homeless, please help me out with some spare change. And I go every day. I'm on the Cross Bronx, and he has the same fucking sign. So I'm like, I want to know when the sign changes, when it says almost not homeless,
made a bank account this week.
Saved some money, made a bank account, getting closer to not being here begging.
Right? Can you get me a pair of shoes?
Right, and then every week it's
a different sign, and then the following week, can you get me a pair of socks?
Right,
or something to that effect. Or when it gets really, really freaking bad, when they no longer have that piece of wood or that piece of cardboard, they're holding up their damn phone, and it says the same friggin' thing.
Right? Well, how about this?
And now he's like, "Yo, I bought a cell phone. I'm not that bad anymore. I finally filled out an application at the Domino's. Right. I'm going to work there part time
because I don't have a permanent address.
Right, I got a hose in the back so I can shower,
and that's what I'm working on. So please help me out. So there should be a progress sign. I think that's my personal opinion. It should be a progress sign.
That's it.
But I'm making progress.
We're going to make that skit.
Yeah, we're definitely.
How about this? I got one for the future parts. We have that's the first part. The second part's when we're in 2062 and you have like the mind reading text messages. The guy coming up to your car window. Just telepathically, give me fucking money.
And you stare back at him and go, "Don't touch my fucking window.
Get away from my window, bro." I have one of these robot security guards in here. Back up. He's like, just 36 cents.
I got a Temmie. You better watch out.
And I think that's my personal opinion. Is I think they should have progress signs. I think if you're homeless begging for money, you should have a progress sign. So when I come back next week and I see you in
something,
it can't say that you can't have the same sign because I'm not the only one. Right, I'm not the only one who gave you money. So you got to be closer to not being homeless.
Right,
there has to be,
or
progress.
at least closer to having a new pair of sneakers
or something.
Or something instead of
a new tent,
or something instead of new pockmarks because you can't stop picking your face because you're fucking high. Something, you know what I mean?
Because you're all
show me your arms. Show me your arms. If you got less needle friggin' marks on your arms than you did last month, I'll help you out.
Yeah. You want to hear a crazy homeless story? Man, I love helping homeless people, but with food, I like going up to them and being like, "Yo, you're hungry."
Oh,
the ones that are like, "No," then whatever. You got a problem.
I keep going.
But the ones that are like, "Yo, I'm hungry," the best is when you're in the city. "Yo, I'm hungry," and like
I'll
right next
to
the
them.
Store. No, right next to them is the hot dog guy. I get them 2 hot dogs for $10 and a bottle of water. Give it to them. But anyway, I'm also in Queens going to do a small film shoot, and I seen this like old crackhead dude, and I was like, whatever. I got like the change in my car. I just gave him a handful, and then I hear, "Hey," and he looks at me, and this is how you know it's bad. He's like, "Yo, man, get the fuck out of here." Turn around. the craziest little heroin addict lady you ever seen. He's like, yo, you gonna give the old man money and not a young lady like myself? And he's like, bro, just go. And I was like, oh my, how bad does this area gotta be that the old crackhead told me to get away from the girl? Right. And she was like, come on, you ain't gonna give me nothing. And I was like, I just gave him. She's like, no, but he old. And I was like, you look older than him. And I gave her the change too, you know, but the way he did, he was like, yo, man, just go. And I was like, what's up? I was like, is Godzilla on the fucking way?
Get out.
She's gonna climb into the car and suck your dick.
Oh no!
Fast as you can. He's like, I'm homeless, but she's crazy and homeless.
She will stab you.
Yeah. No, I know. See, I do the same thing. If somebody asks you for change or something, and you're close by, like a food establishment or something, any sort.
Yes.
Yo, you're hungry? You want something to eat? Here, I'll get you something to eat. Let's go.
Right.
Or if I have something, like I went through a drive-through a couple months ago, and there was a dude at the end of the drive-through. And he was like, yo, you got any change? I says, no, but I got a burger.
Yeah.
You hungry?
Yeah.
And he says, yes, I am. And I gave him the burger.
Yeah.
Here you go.
That's the good one.
Go right back around and get yourself a burger again.
And he was like, yo, thank you.
Yep.
He put it in his pocket. So like he didn't have any more. He was going to get the next dude for something. Hey, you know, I don't mind. But I understand. But if you want something to eat, I'll give you something to eat because I know what it's like not. Yeah. You know, to be hungry, right? Because sometimes I'm just like always hungry, but I understand what it's like to be hungry. So if you want some change, I'm not giving you change. You want some money, I'm not giving you money. But if you're hungry, I will get you something to eat.
Right. And you know what's funny, Don, right? Big Don used to do that when we were kids
all the time.
Somebody was homeless, and then they beg. My pops was great. Like he would take them in the diner.
In the diner.
And sit them down and let them order whatever they wanted.
Yo, whatever you want.
Whatever you want. It's on me. Sit and eat. Yeah. Have a cup of sitting that was this thing.
Feel like you're a human being.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which is dope. Which is why I'm like, yo, you're hungry. Let's get you a little bit of a meal.
Yes.
Bro. I ain't diner material yet.
You want you to feel like you're something. You're not just some, skell off the street. Sit down, eat something.
Yeah, and come on, let's eat. I remember as kids, and even as we got older, and even when he worked in the diner, he used to do that too. If there was somebody begging for money or whatever, be like, listen, come in the diner, sit down, I'll buy you a meal, sit for 10 minutes, you know what I mean? So you don't feel like,
everybody's watching you. Everybody's going to be on top of you. Somebody's trying to get you.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee that's the way those people feel. They feel like there's always somebody trying to get them.
Yep. I get it.
The worst homeless thing I ever seen, was not even New York. Because in New York, it's kind of spread out. You know, there's like maybe 2 homeless people on one block. But when you were in Denver, dude, because it's a smaller area, but there's like only like one 7-Eleven here, and there's another 7-Eleven like 10 miles away. You know, so like there would be like 7-8 homeless people in front of one 7-Eleven in Denver. It was very, very next level homeless out there.
Yeah, shoot. It's crazy. I told you my story when I was out in. Yo, what up, everybody out there in IG world? It's your boy Shannon. You know, we got the podcast going on, so make sure you're tuning in. Go on YouTube, look up Shannon Ambrosio, and make sure you're watching Everything and Nothing podcast. You know, we got some great stuff going on here. You know, my brother, my son, and we're just having a blast. And make sure you're going on, subscribe, get your bell rung, hit the bell. You know, you get a chance to see Big Rich.
Ding, ding.
You know, you'll get a chance to see my son on here. You know, we watching everybody as we go along. But that's what's up right there. You know, tune in. Make sure you're watching the Everything and Nothing podcast with your boy from Brooklyn, Shannon Ambrosio. It's great every Sunday around 5-ish. We usually get on a little bit later because we eat, I cook. It's just a great thing. It's a wonderful thing to be part of the podcast. And we're going to keep going. We got a few more minutes. But listen to me. Tune in, YouTube, Shannon Ambrosio, and check it out. You heard? So I was in LA and I was filming. I was on another show, of course, of some kind, and I don't remember what it was. But I was in LA and I went to visit a friend of mine who was a chef at a restaurant in Oakland. And Oakland's, not the greatest area of California, but I mean, I love Oakland. Oakland was great. So I'm in Oakland and here I am. I rented a car. I'm in Oakland, California, and I'm going to see a friend at the restaurant. And I get out and I look for a spot, and I finally find a spot, and I park the car. And there's a dude, and he's dressed nice. He got a backpack on, his leather jacket. I mean, like, he's dressed nice. And I'm like, oh, and he starts walking towards me. And I'm like, first I get a little suspicious, right? And I'm like, what the hell? You know, finally gets close enough. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, nothing. You know, I'm like, oh, friendly people out here. So he's like, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, not much. What are you doing? He's like, oh, nothing. He goes, I noticed you parked your car over here. The plates look a little different because I rented a car. So who knows where the plates were from? You know, I didn't even pay attention. So he says, I'll keep an eye on your car. You give me $10. I said, I tell you what, I'll find you for $10 fucking and beat your ass if anything happens to my fucking car. And he just looks at me like this. He goes, yo, I'm homeless, man. I'm just trying to make a few bucks. I said, check it out. I'm not homeless and I ain't from here. But if something happens to this fucking rental, I'll come find your ass.
I'm fucking looking for you.
Because obviously you are out here doing this on a regular.
Right.
And he was like, oh, you aren't from around here. I go, no, I'm not, buddy. I said, but I'll tell you what, I will give you the best advice I possibly can without getting too obtrusive. I said, if something happens to the car, I know it was you. So we cool? He was like, yo, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, yeah, me too.
Right.
So that's
sorry, ran into you.
Yeah, that's my homeless story in California. You know, there's a homeless problem everywhere. But
right.
California, that's where you want to be homeless, though, right?
Yeah,
always nice.
Don't tell me that's where you want to be. You don't. I was homeless in California. You don't want to be, but if you do,
tell us the story.
If you do end up homeless anywhere, it might as well be somewhere where it's warm.
Word.
This way at night, you know, even though it does get pretty cold out there in the desert, like
in certain parts of Cali, right?
You don't want to be homeless anyway.
Yeah, you don't want to be homeless. You don't want to be homeless anyway.
Yeah,
and believe me, I know I was.
But if you do, you want to do
the
KFC. It's nice behind the cold box.
Yeah,
it's only a couple roaches back there.
Right?
Yo, that's the thing. New York, we got rats. California got roaches. Yo,
not even like roaches. They got roaches.
They got fucking roaches, man, all over that fucking joint.
I can't. That's the one thing.
At least the rats
make Rich bugs out about.
The rats are away from you. They're on the tracks. The roaches, they're right next to you, man.
Yeah, roaches. I bug out with roaches, man. I got to kill them immediately.
We got to call Nat.
Right.
We got to send that to California.
Napalm, California.
Yeah.
And listen to me, folks. I know everybody out there is watching right now. Make sure you're tuning in to Shannon Ambrosio on YouTube and check out the Everything and Nothing podcast, folks. That's what we do. You have to be tuning in every Sunday around 5-ish. We get on between 5 and 6. We never get on later than 6. Sometimes we drag the podcast on a little bit longer, but make sure you're tuning in on YouTube, Shannon Ambrosio. Get your bell rung, hit the bell, subscribe, so this way you know when we're on. But I'm on every Sunday unless there's an emergency. If there's an emergency, what would be an emergency? I don't know. Like my father passed away. We didn't do the podcast that Sunday.
Death in the family.
So, well, even if there's, excuse me, folks, even if there's snow, I will still do the podcast. I may not have any guests on here, right, Rich?
Right, might be by yourself.
Yeah. Well, Chris may be with me, but that's it.
I'm gonna do my own podcast soon.
Well, that's what we're hoping is that Christopher gets out here and does his own podcast talking about films and the film business and screenplay writing. We're hoping about that. But listen to me, folks. Make sure you're tuning in every Sunday around 5-ish. And for the go on YouTube, look for Shannon Ambrosio, sign up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and make sure you're getting your bell rung. Ring that bell over there. Don't miss the podcast on Sunday. And if you do miss it, watch it during the week. Don't be so lazy. You understand what I mean? It's just a click of a button.
You click that button and watch later.
Word up. Watch it later. You understand? Watch it later. It's cannoli time. It truly is. So listen to me, folks. This is another.
We're going to do.
We're not doing the. You want to do the fortune cookie?
You do the fortune cookie thing?
Did you do one with me already?
I didn't do any with you.
Oh, so we're gonna do the fortune cookie thing.
You have the fortune cookies.
I have the fortune cookies in there.
You still got fortune cookies left?
Grab them. So Chris is gonna grab the fortune cookies, and we are gonna do the fortune cooking thing. That is the ending of every podcast. But I thought you had done one already, so maybe we did. So the first podcast you did, we talked about it.
We talked up there. Oh, there you
go. We talked about it, but we didn't actually do it.
Why, you open one up and put it up?
Yeah. So we open up. Everybody. There you go. You hand one to Rich. And remember, everybody gets one, but we got to pass them to the right.
To the right ski.
And you don't open your own fortune. You have to give your fortune.
Somebody has to be giving you a fortune.
Yeah, then every time I do that, somebody gets the
cool fortune.
Well, that's the way it goes.
And thank you.
Thank you.
So we're going to go around the room. So Big Rich will be the first one to read.
And so Mr. Himmelwinkel left you his fortune. Oh, we got a fortune. We got a fortune. Here comes the bird.
Here comes the bird. That was the
I
honeymoon.
told you the small details, Ralph. The small details.
What a great show. Oh, I love that show to death. The Honeymooners. Well, you truly are Ralph Cramden. You know that.
I know.
No, I tell everybody out there.
Do we get to read first or eat first?
Whatever you want to do. One of the funniest guys I know. It's my brother. I'm sorry. I hate everybody out there who think they're funny. My brother's funny. My brother's funnier than your brother. Sorry.
I don't want to eat in front of the microphone.
He's got to put on his spectacle goggles. Me, if I just hold it far enough away, you know.
Oh, you mean so like in Boise?
Yeah. If I gotta have Idaho,
we know you the hoe.
We already know you the hoe.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a hoe.
You the hoe.
All right. So mine says, go with the flow. Go with the flow will make your transition ever so much easier.
True fact. That's a true
Nice.
fact. I like that one.
Nice. It's not bad. It's not bad. I mean, you know, I like fighting the tide sometimes.
Right. Well, listen. It's okay to push back a little bit, but
Right. Your resistance is futile.
yes, we all know that
Your resistance.
is futile. All right, Chris, let's go.
All right.
I actually have one that either of those could have applied to me really well, but this one actually is probably better. I got it. Finish your works on hand. Don't be greedy. Because I have to finish my film. Instead of
Yes.
trying to grab other films, I should finish the first one.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what's been on my mind lately. I have one more scene to finish, then it is complete. Which I already am doing July 10th. I need the camera on July 10th.
No, the camera is there for you to use.
July 10th will be the completion day of the film.
There you
All
go.
right.
Completing things is always
The best.
the
First
best.
step to anything.
The best. Anything.
It is the best feeling.
And
And having
yours?
stuff done.
All right, so this one is good too. This one really does hit home for myself as well. If it is meant to be, who are you to change that? Time to believe it.
Hell yeah.
And that's a
Wow.
pretty lengthy, very precise idea of a fortune.
That's got some detail.
Yeah.
Fucking Confucius wrote that one himself.
Oh, yeah.
Listen to me. Somebody sat down and was like, no, the generic one is not going to do.
Confucius wrote that one.
I need to say
Right.
something
Mhm.
truly.
We all know that the fortune cookie is not Chinese.
No,
It's American.
it's American.
Mm.
Totally American.
But they did have Confucius. And
Yes.
Confucius is the reason we
The
have,
reason why we have these
Fortune cookie.
fortunes. Right.
because he had those little,
Confucius say.
yeah, Confucius did say, he said a lot.
Yes.
And I like that
He
one.
said Yellow River by W.P. Daly.
But yes, yeah, that's
One
a
who
true
goes to
fact.
sleep with itchy butthole. Wake up with stinky finger.
Right. Brown spots on the wall by Who Flung Pooh.
Listen to me.
Yes.
We gonna raise our glasses one last time.
Yes.
Cheers.
Here's to
cheers.
independence.
Here's to our
be able to
independence.
Eat all the burgers and drink all the
All the
beers
beers
we
we
want.
want. That's a true.
We got a pace.
true-
We got to hurry this up.
That's
Yeah, yeah. So listen to me, folks.
I got a cup.
Make sure you are tuning in every Sunday. I cannot say this enough. Remember, you are independent and you get to choose what you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it, and most of all, whom or whoever you would like to do it with. So cherish your independence. Make sure that you support your country where you live. It means a lot to everybody.
Right.
So make sure today of all days, and you know my message, every day is a good day. And if you give a smile, you're going to get a smile. Give a bunch of them smiles out there, folks. Celebrate your
Right.
independence. And remember, we all love you. This is the Everything and Nothing podcast. I'm out. Peace.
Good night.
Boom. I'm going to hit the turlet.
Yeah, you hit that one up here. I'm going to hit this one down here.
Actually, I take a piss. I'll be done in 2 seconds.
I'm going to drop the kids off in the pool.